All right, folks. Tonight's BFS match is Eddie Dunaway versus Mike Koch. Mike is a 5'16" Fargo. Eddie is 5'18". This is a race to 7. BCA rules. Rack your own alternate brake. See, we got a few people in the chat already. BFS match. How's everybody doing? Can you hear me just fine? How's everybody doing? Here?
Yep, you can. Your sound is pretty good, Rich.
So Eddie won the bag, so he got to brake first. He crushes the brake, and it looks like he has a couple of decent starting shots. Nothing really tied up. The 6th ball does not go that way. So that's about the only one that he needs to play some sort of shape to if he were to opt for solids.
Hey, Rich, can you hear me?
So just for FYI, general information here, the second match of the doubleheader between Scott Dunaway and Joe Pleasant is going to be rescheduled because Joe was recently in
Can you hear me, Rich?
car accident and is pretty sore and recovering from that. Luckily, not seriously injured or anything. So that was good news. Joe's okay. But that one's going to be rescheduled. And then the match we had for tomorrow between Brian from Moses Lake and Rodney Barney, that one. Best thing to do is reschedule that so that, they're not here. And
I don't know if I'm having sound issues or you, Rich, but you're breaking up on my end. All right, looks like Rich is having some difficulties with his sound again, so I'll try to jump in here. All right, so it looks like Mike Cook, solids here. Probably wanted to hit that with a little bit more speed and try to separate that 7-9. He's got a shot on the 6 here. Most likely going to have to put some low left on this and try to get it to come off this direction. Try to separate those so he can try to get out here. All right, giving Eddie another shot at the table here. See what Eddie can do with it. Table's looking pretty ugly for both suits of balls now, so Eddie can try to maybe do a little bit of work. Maybe play that 10 and come to this bottom half of the table over here. And then play that 11. He can break his 13 out with this ball down here. I think that's the 12 ball, because he can get the cue ball to come off this direction to break the 13 out. Or he could even play to a bank on the 13 if he wanted to. But got to start somewhere. He's starting with this 10 ball. He tried rolling it in, but he hit it pretty straight. So didn't really leave Mike a shot here, though. Mike's probably going to have to try to come up with some kind of safety unless he can somehow backbank this 7, which will move the 6, but that's going to be a tall order there. Yeah, it's a pretty nifty little shot he went for there. But didn't go, so leaving Eddie an opportunity here again to try to work something out. Looks like he's going to be playing this 14 with some left-hand English. Probably going to try to move that 6. Nope. That would have been a good shot. A little too bad that he didn't hit the 6 ball and kind of left himself tough now. I'm not sure I went for that. I might have opted for something like playing shape to the cue ball back in this area and then trying to play the 9 into the 6 and get the 9 to follow that 6 in. Took that 6 pretty deep, so we probably could have done that, but I don't know if he's going to try to combo this and draw into the 6. I don't know. I actually kind of like playing this 10 ball here, playing the 10 in and having the cue ball come down the table and then playing a safety off this 9. I think that'd be best bet, especially with that 13 ball here in the center of the table blocking that kick shot. Well, left Mike a chance here. All those balls are in the open. Most likely going to play the combo here. This is pretty tricky. You got to play this just right to make sure that that 7 ball doesn't lay up on this end rail and leave him no shot afterwards. Play it with some speed. That might work out. He's got a shot at the side pocket, and the 8 ball goes in either pocket. So depending on how he wants to play shape here, he has a chance to get this first game. Doesn't look like he got there. May need to swerve this a little masse on this ball. You know, one thing, I don't know if Mike does this, one thing a lot of people do when they play masse is say if they're going to try to curve the ball to the left, they'll put, a bunch of low left on the cue ball. But for massing, putting low on the cue ball is not going to help a ton. You get more bite and more action if you just do like center left, but with that downstroke. Sometimes putting that low on there, you can get that cue ball to squirt too far forward before it actually takes that masse and spins in. Eddie has ball in hand here, and he misses his first shot. That is not good, leaving Mike an open shot on the 8. Not sure what happened there. I think he was just thinking too far ahead instead of really thinking about making the 11. This table does have deep shelves, so you definitely got to make sure you focus on the make when you're playing these corner pockets. So Mike's going to get game 1. And looks like he's going to have the break too. So Eddie must have won the lag. So Mike's going to be breaking here.
Times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world, but keep the sky on your mind.
All right, let's see which break Mike goes with. Looks like he's breaking from the side. See if he breaks head ball or second ball. It looks like he got a little bit of both. It looks like he was going for head ball there. Made a ball, but a little bit of a funky layout. Stripes are probably best. Looks like he has an opening shot at the 14 in the side too. Right here, so he might be able to get a little run going here. Can't tell if the 11 passes the 3 down here, but if it doesn't, it goes in the bottom right-hand corner pocket. So he's got some action here. It looked like for a second there he was looking at playing the 1. The only thing I don't like about the 1 is these balls are pretty specific shape down here, and that 2's in a bad spot. So he'll have to play the 1 and address the 2 and everything right now. That's what he's going for. Just seems like it's a little bit more of a difficult shot to pull off. And he's having to jack up. Yeah, I didn't like that. But it's like he put that 1 in a funky spot. So Eddie's going to come up with an open table, so he gets to choose his suit of balls here. I'm pretty sure he's going to have to take stripes. That's a good shot. Got down here on the 13 ball. That's pretty good. I think right now I'd be playing shape to take care of these balls here. I don't know if that 9 goes in the side or what. The 10 ball looks like it goes to this top left pocket, but it doesn't look like it has another pocket other than that one. It looks like he's looking at this 9 ball. Or this 11 ball, sorry. Yeah, I think with that 1, I would have tried to play a draw stroke and draw it up into this area over here. Whether I play shape to here to be able to play this ball there, or whether I draw in to open those up or something. I think I would have tried to address those right away. Those are the ones that are going to be the problem childs. Like he's seeing if he can cut that clean without hitting the 2. He could bank that ball as well, but he's not liking any of those options, so he's gonna go with this 15 ball. Being on the rail, taking away his cueing is gonna make it tough. So makes this ball hard to pocket, even though it's pretty straight. Yeah, anytime you jack up like that, you're typically going to be putting unnecessary spin on the ball. So, but he didn't really leave Mike a whole lot here. This might be a good spot for Mike to play a safety. Open some of these balls up and get safe. Even if you don't get like a lockdown safety, you just opening these balls up and then leaving Eddie tough. But looks like he's going to give Eddie ball in hand here. Clip that 11. I think he shot that kind of fast, made his decision quick, and then didn't really take a look at everything there. So with ball in hand here, Eddie's going to have a chance. I think that 10 ball still looks like it only goes into this corner pocket. I would probably start with this 9 ball, play it off the 1 into the side, and let the cue ball go ahead and come down. Just set yourself up with an angle for the cue ball to come down in this area, so you can take care of your next problem ball. And then you'll be in the free at that point. So yeah, I'd play that off the 1, and play the 11. Let my cue ball come down here, play the 15, and then play the 10 in the side as my cue ball to the 8. Good shot, Eddie. Overran shape a little bit for that 11, but still pretty good spot there. Still let that cue ball come up table up here, play the 15 and then the 10. Anybody out there watching this stream, if you hear some weird noises in the back, don't mind me. My daughter's sitting next to me on her tablet watching The Simpsons, so there might be some random noises coming. Well, he bumped the 15. It looks like he's going to have to play the 10 first, and then the 15 is his key ball, but I don't think that's going to hurt him a whole lot. As long as he just gets on the bottom side down here for the 15, he'll be good. He just doesn't want to go forward with this ball. It'd be better off even to draw all the way down here if he needed to, just to avoid being in the middle of those solids. Yep, just like that. Maybe a little bit more draw, because now he's going to be tree-topped. Yeah, some people will try to just stun and stay in this area here. If it's easy to do, then great. But or some people will even try to just run down into the 1 and have the 1 stop the ball. But there's no need to play near any of these balls. I mean, these balls are in this part of the table. Anywhere else on this second half of the table, or on this right half of the table, you're going to be able to make the 15 pretty easy and get out. So he kind of put himself in a bad spot here. Looks like Rich is still having some audio issues, so Eddie miscued over the top of that ball and shows he had good stroke, good aiming point for it to miscue and still make the ball. It's a pretty good thing there. So and he doesn't really have much of a shot here on the 8 unless he plays like a safety or some kind of crazy bank. Looks like he's trying to call that side pocket on the other end there, but I'm not sure the 8 passes the 7 and can get to that side rail there. We'll see, though. And it looks like Mike kind of returned the favor a little bit in this second rack. Didn't have the easiest of shots, but he missed that 7 ball, gave Eddie a chance at this 8. Eddie shouldn't have to worry too much about scratching. He should just be able to focus on making this 8 ball. There you go. Nice out. Nice shot.
Did you just hit your face on?
So looks like it's 1-1 here. Eddie's break, so it looks like they're going back and forth like we figured. So probably going to be a pretty close match this whole way through unless one of these guys catches a gear. All right. Third rack, 1-1. Race to 7. You know, I'm going to take a look. I see that Rich didn't put their Fargos with their names. I know about where they're at, but I'm going to take a look at their Fargos just to make sure I know what's what. Yep, so Eddie's a 518 Fargo, and Mike Cook is not pulling up in my system. All right, I did something wrong here. There he is. He's a 516, so virtually on paper in Fargo, these guys are identical. Like Eddie's working around the table pretty good here. Or Mike, sorry. Well, I'm trying to multitask and not doing any of it good. It's got a good little pace going. And solids look pretty good. Yeah, he might need to play that 1 next, play down for the 6. So that 5 ball is going to have to be his key ball to the 8. Shouldn't be too bad. He's just got to make sure that he plays a really good positional shot from the 6 to the 4. I mean, pretty much kind of where he's at now is where he's going to want to be. He could even be a little straighter so that he can just draw to this portion of the table over here. Want to get off that rail. Man, he's kind of in the middle spot on either one of these balls. Looks like he's going with the 5 ball, but it's gonna make shape to the 8 a little tougher. And he's gonna have to force this here since he's on the rail. But I'm not completely against it. Yeah, playing this 4 on the side. Problem is, cue ball's working away from the 5. I think he's going to have to get pretty fortunate here to be able to come off 15 somehow or something to see that 5 ball. Oh, right in the drink. Giving Eddie ball in hand here is not good. Definitely got to take care of these 3 problem balls down here. I don't know. I would probably, you can start with the 9 ball, play the 9 down in the bottom left corner, and then play the 13. So that opens the pocket for this 12. And the 13 ball is going to be, it's going to allow the cue ball. With the cue ball in this area, playing that 13 is going to allow the cue ball to stay over in here. So he'll have the option of the 11 or this 10 ball over here. But he's got to take care of these 3 balls here. He can't wait. Even if he starts with the 13 first. He's starting with the combo. I mean, it's a pretty good 2-way. He can draw this back a little bit. I just don't like it. You shouldn't be starting with combos when you have ball in hand. It's one of the cardinal sins, they say. Makes it harder to control all the balls in play. With ball in hand, you don't really necessarily need to do that. But he's comfortable with it, so he's going for it. Yeah, it didn't work out too bad. Putting that 12 ball, looks like this ball right here, putting it where it is, changes things a little bit. Just going to have to change his pattern a little bit, but it should be okay. You're going to have to put a good stroke on this ball. Yeah, I favor Eddie to get out here, taking his time, making sure he's pocketing his balls, and just from here, he's on the rail, so he's just got to make sure he chooses what he wants to do here because he doesn't want to get stuck having some tough cut on the 9 or having to play a combo with the 11 and 14. And he missed the ball. That's not good. Little commentator's curse, probably. It just made a comment about how good he's pocketing the balls now. That happens. With Mike Treetopped here, he's going to have to probably run into that 8 ball. He doesn't want to hit it too hard because he wants the 8 ball to scoot over here and leave the cue ball about where that 8's at. I think you guys are stuck with me from the looks of it. Rich is having bad enough issues with his audio that he probably won't be on commentating at all tonight. So you're stuck with me. Got Todd Phillips messaging me, talking smack. So at least I know you're watching. Yeah, I paid the 5, but like I was saying, he wanted to hit that soft because he wanted that. He wanted to run into the 8 and just have it separate. That 5 ball wasn't extremely far from the pocket, so you want to make sure and pocket the ball, but it's a pretty fast table, so you didn't really have to hit too hard. So I don't know if that 11's blocking it for the bank in the side. It's going to be a tight window to play through. you might want to look at just playing that cut up to the corner. But it looks like, yeah, he's calling the side pocket, so. I see somebody saying hi, Josh, in the chat. I don't see any names or anything with it, so maybe Scott Dunaway. I see Go Bro in there. Let me know. Nobody else is really saying anything in there. Nobody's putting it out there who they're rooting for or what they're hoping for here. Should be a close match. Looks like these guys are both making some of the same little mistakes. And then, kind of early on, but they're going back and forth as far as shooting. Yeah, I think that was asking a lot to get around that 11. I'm not sure it really went. But left Eddie a pretty decent table here. He's just got to get his composure and take his time and work this out. He had a good table before and made that little mistake. So, and it was probably because he's shooting off the rail. You don't want to be on the rail, so he's got to make sure and pay attention to those positional plays when he's going to be near the rails. He's got to make sure and play it so that he can be stroking off the rail. As I'm sure some of you heard, Rich mentioned it, there's not going to be a second match tonight. Going to have to do a reschedule with Scott Dunaway versus Joe Pleasant. Also, the match tomorrow is being rescheduled. One of the players is sick. Not sure who. Didn't really ask. But that was between Brian Burkett from Moses Lake, I believe, and Rodney Barney. So it's too bad. Looking forward to that match. I was looking forward to the match between Scott and Joe too. So I like Eddie's pace here. I don't like it when players take too long or shoot too fast. I like a steady, medium pace like this. But the biggie is a consistent pace. When you're switching from going slow to shooting fast, that's where you're going to make your mistakes. You got to stay in a nice, smooth rhythm. Make sure you're comfortable. Yeah. Pretty nice out. Looks like Eddie's going to take the lead, 2-1. And it'll be Mike racking and breaking. Eddie's up 2-1, race to 7, BCA alternate break. Looks like they're using template rack. They should be getting some pretty good breaks. I like to break straight from the front with the template rack. Pretty much kind of how my 10-ball break is. I like to break from the front, and I like those 2 balls right behind the head ball to try to drift into those side pockets. If you hit that head ball square, this ball should track towards this pocket and this ball should track towards this pocket. The thing that I like about that is the speed of the table is the only thing you really need to adjust for going from diamond to diamond, bar to bar as far as diamonds. And with that break, with those balls drifting that towards those pockets, you can watch, and if the ball hits before the side pocket, then you're hitting it too hard, and if the ball hits past the side pocket, you're hitting it too soft. So that allows you to adjust your speed on your break, which is one of the reasons I really like that break. And typically you get a pretty good scatter break with that. Breaking from the side, especially second ball, usually you have more clusters. harder to know the speed of the table as far as what you need to do on the break. But when you have a really good, solid, smooth, consistent side break, it's not going to be an issue. People like Stan Turingo, they use that side break second ball, and they've done it for so long, and they're so good with it that they hit it so consistent. They're making balls and they're able to get out. But if you watch Stan, he still has lots of clusters on the table too. He's got to work around. He's just so good at position with his cue ball that he can work it out pretty easy. All right, enough of that. Let's see what kind of break we get here. Made a ball again. Looks like a fairly open table. Well, not really. Kind of got clustered up. It's hard to tell what I do here. I can tell you I don't think that this 10 ball passes the 1. Obviously, the 14's an issue. But with an open table, you can play dirty combos. So if I'm going aggressive, I'm going to try to run this table. I'm going to start with the 6-14 combo probably. There's not really any way to break that out. Nothing easy, at least, for either suit of balls. That one shot, and with the cue ball coming off this direction, in one shot, you can open the whole rack for stripes. Mike chose to go with the 15 in the side. Probably not a bad idea, making sure you're able to solidify your suit of balls. But he's got a tough table here. Oh, shot that fast. That's what I was just saying about the consistency of your pace, your tempo around the table. He got down and shot that pretty fast after taking the time at the beginning shooting that 15 ball. So Eddie's going to have ball in hand here, but Eddie's got a really ugly table. I wouldn't be opposed to Eddie starting with a safety here. If this 6 passes to this corner, which I believe it does, then I would probably start with something like this 4 ball. Cue ball on this side, banking the 4 down here and just tying him right up on the backside of this 1. Opens those balls up. Probably not going to get ball in hand, but at least you've opened it up, and then you've got a table you can get out on from there. Yeah, he's in a tough spot here. I didn't like that a whole lot. He was going to separate those balls up there, but I don't really think he needed to do that. I think he really needed to work on these 3 balls down here. Yeah, he got a little frustrated himself with that safety, but he's not in a bad spot. I don't think Mike really has anything he can pocket here. So, might not be a lockdown safety, but it's still a containing safety. Yep, a little bit of a chess game this is going to be. Eddie's got a bank shot here, but what Mike just did right there tied up Eddie's 7-2 down here again. So, excuse me. Here I am chatting away, and I was muted. Mike's picking this apart pretty good. This is in a bad spot. He hit that with a little too much space, maybe. But he can, lots of low right can get him to draw off this way. Oh, I'm hearing some noises over there. Looks like somebody's logging in as a guest.
That'd be me, Josh. How you doing?
Hey, Scotty, how you doing, buddy?
Too bad. Got in a little bit late. I did catch the last game.
Yep, 2-1. So Rich is having some issues with his audio, so he's listed on here, but he's not commentating at all. So it's just you and I. For those of you that don't know, because it's not listed, it's just listed as Little Dutch Inn. This is the world famous Scott Zurich joining me in here.
I don't see any way to list my name on there, Josh.
Yeah, there's not. They actually have to build you a profile, and then you'd have to log in through that. So it's a little different. So for now, you're just a guest commentator. One of these days, Scott. One of these days, you'll graduate up and
To be somebody.
be one of the cool kids.
I'm all right.
So Mike's stripes here. So he's in a bad spot. So he's trying to figure out. I mean, I don't think he really has an aggressive move here. So he's going to have to try to clip this stripe and play down behind his 13. I think. Yeah, about like that.
Yeah, didn't leave it bad. Looks pretty good, actually.
Yeah, not bad. He gets anywhere in there. I mean, if he even comes up, like leaves a cue ball in this area, then he can. Mike's got options, but putting it where he did, Mike's got a pretty tough layout here.
Yeah, it looks like he pretty much blocked it all the way around.
Yeah.
Can he see a little bit of that 7? I can't really. It's hard to tell from here if he might be able to. He may just have to try to play to the lower end of the table and not leave a shot for Mike.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, what would you do here?
I think I would just come off. Is that the 2 ball there?
Yeah.
Get to the bottom rail, just about even with the 13, or a little bit past the 13, and not leave him a shot anywhere.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I was thinking. Because if you hit this 2 ball, and I would probably go a little more aggressive with the safety and try to put some left English on it so that it does something like this, and try to get that cue ball up in this area.
Yeah, but you kind
I
of
was-
run the risk of hitting that a little too hard and coming out and giving him a shot on that 9, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would err on the side of soft. If I can get up there, great. If not, then I'm still going to be on the bottom half of the 13. Oh, he went for the make there, and that's actually
that 2 might have put a little backboard on there for him if he.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't know that 2 would even go in that side pocket, but that was pretty aggressive because I think you're right. I think, but shape for the 10 is going to be tough. So he makes this 13 ball off that 2. I mean he's going to have to stun this ball somehow to try to get the 10.
Really a pretty delicate shot there.
Yeah. He was trying.
Well, yeah, I think that opens up the door here for Eddie.
Yep. Yeah, and that's one thing we've seen. Basically, all 3 games, it's gotten down to a point like this where one of the guys had an out that they were working, and then each of them have done it where they've just missed a ball they shouldn't have missed. Something they probably wouldn't normally miss, which could be a little bit of the nerves, a little adrenaline going or something, and ends up costing them a rack. So I'd favor Eddie to get out here, but we just got to see that we can put it together.
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday, and I told Rich just seeing Eddie play lately, he's really been pretty focused and working tables out pretty well.
Yeah, he's been playing pretty good.
So I do think he's got pretty good action here to get out.
Yeah, he should. Left himself a little flat on the 6, though. That's one of those spots where sometimes I fall victim to it too, but a person should really walk over and look at the angle they want to get on that ball to get back to the 2, because he fell pretty flat here, so now he's got to force something which decreases the odds of pocketing and or shape.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. Might have a little bit of angle, maybe if you force a little bit more with some right English, top right, and come around exactly.
Yeah, but like I said, it's forcing it, and this is that newer cloth too. So
it looks like he's hitting bottom though.
Yeah. Maybe that 2. Well, the 2 goes into the bottom left, so he can shoot that.
Yeah, and that just kind of goes with your comfort if you're comfortable hitting that draw and getting back there. Or... Oh, nice shot.
Yeah. Just leave himself a little bit of a longer shot on the 8, but it's not a bad spot at all to be in. Pretty good out. He got a little funky there, but he just had a really good recovery. Nice out, Eddie. Taking a 3-1 lead and the break. Pretty good out. Once he got funky to that 6, that's definitely changes his chances of getting out. But he made a good recovery there.
Stayed calm and hit a good stroke and got himself the best shape he could.
right, I'm gonna pay attention here. I was multitasking the last couple times Eddie was up to break, so I didn't see how he was breaking. Mike's been breaking from off to the center or off to the right, but he's still breaking head ball and pocketing a ball and usually having an open shot, but he's had a little bit of clusters. Looks like Eddie's going to the opposite side here. See if he breaks head ball or second ball. When you're using the template rack, Scott, in 8-ball, do you break from the side or you break from the center?
Lately, most of the time I've just been breaking from the center.
Yeah.
It just kind of depends. If that's really not working out too well, I'll try to change it up and try from the side. But generally, I'm hitting everything from the front.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, and Eddie, so one of the things I've always noticed is when I break from the side, I'm either making a ball and having clusters on the table, or I'm not making a ball and it's wide open for my opponent.
Right.
So this same scenario like what Eddie has here, but I just noticed doesn't look like he was using the template rack. So, and if the balls are racking good with the regular rack and it's a good set of balls, a good clean table, then I'd prefer not to use the template rack in 8-ball. I just use it anytime the break's a little inconsistent. Table's dirty or older cloth, or the balls aren't clean, or something like that.
Was this one of the new sets of balls they have down there?
I don't know for sure. I know this is on that new table, so it's got the newer cloth and everything. Everything's clean, so it's probably racking pretty good. So that right there, I'd mentioned a couple games ago about some inconsistency with Mike's pace. Seems to be anytime he makes a mistake, missing a ball or something like that, it's typically when he's shooting fast, He kind of changes up his pace and shoots a little too fast and misses, which is pretty common for all of us. That's one of the things I do sometimes too.
Yeah.
So.
And a lot of times you know exactly when you do it.
Yeah, Scott, I seen that you, Scott Dunaway, I see in the chat you mentioned that you like breaking from the center in 10-ball. I break from the center in 10-ball as well. Honestly, if all the balls are good and clean, the table's good and fast and everything, I like to break from the center in all of them. I usually get, more action, better spread. Everything works pretty good. The only time you'll see me breaking away from center is if I'm using a magic rack or a template rack in 9-ball. I'll break from the side so that I focus on making that wing ball every time. Or if one of the other games, if I'm struggling with the break, then you'll start seeing me move the cue ball around.
Yeah, Rich and I were playing some sets, running some 9-ball the other night, and I changed my break and was breaking from the side, and was doing pretty well at making some balls and leaving myself a starting shot. So,
yeah, in 9-ball, man, it's if you're using a template rack, it's almost insane not to break from the side, because when you break from the side, you can tone down your break so much, and you're almost guaranteed for that wing ball to go in every time, and you can tone your break down so that you're doing more of a controlled break. And so, like me, I try to. When I break from the side in 9-ball with the template rack, I'm more focused on the 1-ball at that point, seeing where the one's going so I can play shape to it off the break, because that wing ball is going pretty much every time. Eddie's making a nice out here. He's got stripes and trying to take advantage of that mistake Mike made. He doesn't want to hit that full. So he overstroked that a little bit, but
I think he actually ended up pretty okay on that 12. I think he could get through there.
What do you do, though? I mean, so like I would probably try to
Yeah.
play with some right English and try to come down like this. You know,
Right. Play the side.
yeah, play it in the side, and then from there, you based off your angles, whether you bring the cue ball down like this or whether you bring the cue ball up into here or over into here. You know,
Right.
if you try to play back to play the 14 in the same pocket, you can run into a lot of problems.
And
Yeah,
he hit
just
that
like
pretty
that.
good. Oh, it went a little too far. I think that's going to make it tough for him to get on the 8 there.
It will. I love these shots, though. They don't always pan out, but playing that into that opposite side pocket with like a bunch of center right, just try to punch it off this rail and come back up table this way. I just like those shots because I can let my stroke out and just punch it. If I knew the 8 past the 7, then I would try to bring the cue ball around this way, but it's hard to tell. Yep, he's just over in shape a little bit. Curious. I don't know. I've never really talked to Eddie a whole lot about pattern play and things like that. I don't know if, like right there, was he just playing to an area, or was there a specific spot where he was playing shape to? Because if he was just playing an area, that's probably why he got on the backside of it. But
I think he probably had the intention of being lined up for the side. I think he just maybe overhit it a little.
well, yeah, I know he was. But what I'm saying is, like, was he from the other side just looking, thinking, "Oh, I just need to get over here," or is he one of those players that walks around and looks and says, "Okay, here's the ball, here's the center line of it, and I need to make sure and be on this side,"
Yeah, he probably didn't give it that much forethought.
That's one of the biggies why a lot of people get into trouble at the tail end of an 8-ball rack, just because there's so much, so many obstacles out there with the other person's balls out there still.
Yeah, getting on the right side of that ball comes in pretty critical.
Yep. Mike's got a chance here. I didn't leave it easy. Looks like the 2 ball passes the 8 up into that top left corner. That might be better than playing that 4 in the side or something. That 4 in the side, your cue ball could come off, clip the 8, and get funky.
Yeah, kind of tough from here to. Are you at the Dutch, Josh?
Nope, I'm remote. That's a good shot.
It's a pretty good eye there. That's hard for me to tell if that went through.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. If it went by the 8, yeah, it's hard to tell on this live stream sometimes. Hit it hard and skinnied it up past the 5.
Let's go, Matt Mitchell, about that one.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
not sure that. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say might be a little tougher to hold his shape for 7 one here. Looks like he might have had a little angle. No, I think he could have. It looked like a little more angle from here. Like it's weird. It's a weird looking at this screen and seeing exactly what's straight. I guess.
Yeah. Well, you have a hard time seeing what's straight, anyways, don't you?
Well, yeah, pretty much.
So what do you do here? I mean, I would probably look at putting just like a little bit of right hand English on this, cut this ball in, and have it come this direction. He's looking to see if it passes a 7. Obviously, if it passes a 7, you don't have to worry about coming back and forth.
I don't know. Does he look like he's drawing into that?
And he brings that side pocket into play depending on where he's playing
Yeah.
it to.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, not good. I don't like playing the draw from there. All right. I'm starting with the 7 ball. Try to stay on this bottom side of the 4 so I can 2-rail the cue ball out like this for the 8. Yeah, this will work too. He can draw off and play the 8 in that top corner pocket probably. Over the side. This table
Looks
grips
good.
pretty good. So.
Yes, it does.
Yep.
All right. Keep her close.
Yep. 3-2, and it's his break.
Yeah. I think this was definitely going to be a pretty good match. Like I said, Eddie's been hitting really well lately. Mike, man, I've really seen him knuckle down at times and play some really focused pool.
Yeah.
Several times. I think were you with us when we went down and played in Oregon City?
Yeah. Me, you, Rich, and Mike. He played
Yeah.
super strong down there.
He sure did. Yeah, able to focus and play really smart. So I think if he just kind of follows along the line, and man, it's going to be really tough to call to see who pulls his win out here.
Yeah, I agree. Both guys been putting in the time, playing pretty good. I was really impressed with Eddie's play during the men's league playoffs during the first half of the year. He pulled out a lot of good, strong wins for his team.
He did. That's what I was telling Rich. Man, he was really working in some tough tables out and coming up with some big wins.
He did. Yeah, I think him and Myron were like the 2 MVPs on that team. Those guys were working out some pretty crazy tables and just staying focused, staying in the moment, and just playing really good. I like stripes. Solids look a little funky. But for stripes, I don't know. I kind of like starting with that 13 ball. Like getting it out of the way for the 10. You'd even have that 10 ball be your key ball if you wanted.
A little bit of a stretch there. I just lay up on that pretty easy to get that 11 and come around.
Yep. Yeah, I think I'd. Yeah, 13. So now the 11 ball. Try to get out, play that 12 ball on the side, and then the 9 ball.
I think it might have been better if he would have just rolled up a little bit, left a little more angle to get up table.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty decent right there.
So I mean, you could roll this into the side. Cue ball might come up in this area. You could always play the 9 in the side and have the cue ball come down and then back to the center like this. But I honestly think I would probably play and try to come around and play the 9 in the same pocket with that much angle he's got.
Yeah.
come around that 3 ball.
And now you just click on that, turn the microphone green, and you don't need any kind of microphone. You just talk.
Well, Rich relogged back in, and we can hear him. It shows he's muted, but you can still hear him talking.
Right, yeah, tell him his mic is working just fine. We can hear everything now.
Yeah. Yeah, Eddie tried to play high to come around, but playing high, he would have had to hit that super thin to be able to not carry him off and not deflect all the way down into those solids. I would have probably tried to catch it as fat as I could with some low right and tried to do like a pinch draw coming like this, something like that, just to avoid having to run into those solids. But gave Mike an opportunity here. Not sure if that 6 passes the 10 or not.
Well, I mean, he could work that 6 out here right now.
Yeah. Yeah, if it doesn't, he definitely needs to. Well, it goes now.
Perfect.
I think Mike needs to maybe slow down just a little bit right here and think about his pattern to make sure that he doesn't get funky on that 1-2.
So are you able to hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you, Rich.
Oh, right on. Hey. Back in the game.
Yep. It's super loud behind you.
Is it?
Oh, no.
Yeah, see, Scott, like I was mentioning earlier, that they've both kind of taken turns doing the same kind of thing to where they have an opportunity and then they just miss that one ball that you wouldn't expect them to miss.
Yeah, now, I mean, this definitely looks like Eddie should be out here.
Yeah, there's natural shape, so it's just a speed control thing, and then the 9 in the corner, and that should set him up for the side pretty easy. Yeah, he doesn't have to do much here. Just a little stopper, stop shot.
I'd probably let it just come forward, come off. I mean, you can do it either way, but I hate rolling things in, hate stopping things. So it looks like Eddie accidentally knocked in the 3, so all that happens is that 3 spots back where it was as close to where they think it was.
I think Mike might think it was right in front of the side pocket by the 8 ball there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Won't change anything, just changes how Eddie gets down to stroke this ball now.
The good old belly button foul.
Yep, Eddie's going to take a 4-2 lead. And the break.
Yeah, like you said.
Go ahead, Scotty. Sorry.
Like you said, Josh, that little change in tempo, that little mistake makes a big difference going from evening it out to being down by 2,
Yeah, Mike's had a few chances. The score could definitely be different, but I don't know if he's rushing or what it is. He's making some simple mistakes, and it's costing him games, which are getting to a point where it doesn't be big mistakes.
Sometimes you get a little pumped up and ready to make that out, that you don't really take the time that each shot deserves to make sure that it's going to go in.
True. We've all done it. I've done it many times myself. You just take a simple shot for granted and then don't give it its due respect, and then you miss it. Then you kick yourself later. So as I'm sure you guys know, maybe you don't, but the doubleheader we have planned tonight, the second match between Scott Dunaway and Joe Pleasant, is going to be rescheduled. Joe was recently in a car accident. Luckily, unfortunately, he was not seriously injured. So, but you know, when you get in any kind of car accident, you're going to be sore. And so, you know, he's not going to be able to play his best pool. So we'll just go ahead and reschedule that one. And then the match we had scheduled for tomorrow night is also being rescheduled because Rodney is sick, and so he needs his time to recover instead of coming out and trying to force something. But we are having an 8-ball tournament tomorrow night at 6 p.m. So there will be pool action here anyway.
Pool tournament tomorrow night.
Yeah, 8-ball at that. So everybody's favorite.
I think I'll be joining.
I wouldn't say everybody's favorite.
Yeah, but you know, that's a majority of people around here, the players in the valley, prefer 8-ball over anything else. And it's been a minute, you know, with 9-ball, Lincoln City lurking 2 weeks out. 9-ball's been a big game, so thought I'd throw in an 8-ball session just to kind of mix it up a little bit.
I'm going to Lincoln City for 9-ball. Is there anybody else out there? I know Rich and Scott are as well. Is there anybody else out there watching that's going to be going to Lincoln City for 9-ball? Hey, Rich, you might want to, when you're not talking, you might want to mute yourself. That music's pretty clear. I don't want it to kick us off.
Oh, okay.
How do you, Rich or Josh? I don't know if either of you can tell me. I can't see the. I don't know how to bring the chat up to see that as well while we're watching.
So you can't actually bring it up while you're commentating in here. I actually have my phone because I got my laptop I'm doing the commentating on, and then I've got my phone, the YouTube, pulled up, and I have the chat turned on for that. I just have the volume off.
Yeah, I have it set the same way. My phone is sitting next to my laptop, and make sure if you do that with your phone, Scotty, to turn the volume off on your phone. Otherwise, that delay kicks in, and you hear yourself talking or everybody talking, and then you'll talk over it or whatever. And it's kind of annoying.
I think I'll just see about hooking. I have a second monitor here. I think I'll just hook that up and put this on the other monitor.
All right, Mr. Fancy. But yeah, no, that's before I was showing these guys. Last month or month before, I actually had the commentating up on one screen. I had another screen that I had connected, and I had another streaming match from a different pool tournament, I think at Patty's, and then I had my phone going as well with the chat, and then I had my work phone going with another tournament. So a little bit of the pool addiction I have going on. But
I've been contemplating bringing my other projector down here once we get this camera set up on table 5. Set it up down there. That way we can live stream it and project it onto the wall.
Yeah, you just have to play with the lighting because with all that lighting in there, it might not be the easiest.
Well, the light switch panel's right there by the kitchen, so I just hit the one for the back end over there. Boom. Done. the table light will still be on, so the player will still be able to see well. But yeah, I don't know, just play with it. But I'll watch this when I get home. I'll project it to the wall and then I'll watch it at home. And,
Yeah, Mike's shooting pretty fast. Mike, every time he
He
gets
does.
down and shoots fast, he's missing. He's got to really slow himself down if he wants to be able to climb back into this.
Yeah, he's pretty frustrated with himself, and understandably so, because those are shots right there that he should make, 99% of the time, and he normally does. He's a decent shot, but when you're rushing yourself, and it seems to be the common theme for him with all the shots that he's missed in this match so far. For the most part, it's been because of him not, taking his time.
Yep, Eddie's got a chance here. Going to play the 6 past the 5-8 into that corner. Oh, tight pockets. Left Mike a long shot on the 10, kind of bridging over that 6 ball. And Eddie's blocking that pocket, so it's no good. So Mike's in a tough spot here.
Oh, he's called the 10 corner. Become a must make, which he did. So I don't know what he had planned for the 11 ball with the 1 and 6 ball blocking pockets. He wanted to figure out how to get down there. And I think for me, I would want to make this ball and come over into this area, give myself a nice back angle, back up table.
Oh, well, that certainly did not work. I've got volume coming from both screens.
Mike's in a bad spot here. He's going to have to probably just play to the bank. And he'll want to do is roll forward to like center table so that he can play the bank and have the cue ball come off, run into the 8, or play it with a stun or a speed to keep the cue ball short side of the 8. But I think that's the only other option he would have is if he played some kind of safety by comboing that 11 into the 1 and blocking that pocket. But I think he's better off to just go for this.
Yeah, and being on the wrong side of that ball, it really limited his options. So, but he recognized that and didn't try to do too much. He just accepted the longer shot. But yeah, what to do here? I mean, you play the bank and hope for something on the 8.
Well, you just bank the 8 into that 1 ball and have it follow it in.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only shot he has, really. I mean, the only other one, but I don't know that he knows this shot, is that one right there. That very shot. I was just getting ready to draw that line.
Yeah, that's difficult though. That's pretty tough. Or he could even play to this bottom left. I mean, he could play the 8 ball. 3 rails like that.
That's actually a good shot because you can find the line for that. You play that spot on the wall and play that 3 rail around. I mean, the only thing you got to really avoid is the 7, and that natural line should come more this way. The only benefit to the cross bank is maybe knocking the 1 in and hoping that your 8 ball stays there so that Eddie would have, an issue with that 7 ball that he would have to deal with.
Yeah, but doing that, then you're not really even playing the 8 to pocket it. You're just playing the 8 to just make the 1 and take the pocket. Because if you play it to pocket that, you have to play it with speed. If you're just
right, but you'd have to hit it. You'd have to hit it too perfect to try to follow it in. So he called that bottom corner. So he's thinking the same. The old 3-reeler. Ooh.
But once again, I'm not trying to knock him, and I haven't played a ton with Mike, but he shot that pretty fast. Once he made his decision, he took all that time, but then when he was down in strokes, he didn't spend a lot of time making sure with practice strokes, making sure he was in alignment and aiming at the correct spots and everything.
Yeah, and on this particular table, with that the new Simonis cloth on there, how it comes off the rails, it's still a little bit on the slidey side.
Yeah.
So that was always going to play long. But yeah, when you shoot it fast like that, I mean, you're right. It took him a while to make the decision, but once he did, he was quick to fire it.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's going to cost him another game.
Well, it definitely should.
Oh, big error there.
So let's see, because in this particular situation, for me, I would think the safety on the 7 is the shot. You don't want to think, well, my 7 is blocking the 8 because that still leaves a bank. So looks like Eddie's thinking what I was thinking. Just bump this in there and get that safety. Ooh, he hit that good too. It's inside the pocket, so it's inside the point, so he can't go behind the 7. Can't come in through here at all. That was pretty well played right there.
Definitely take out a jump shot or anything from there also.
Yeah, being hooked by the point there, that jump shot is not available. So he definitely, kick bank is about what you got. Calling this pocket and try to kick bank the 8. Because it really doesn't serve a point to just try to play for a hit. You gotta take a shot at getting a win here. His aiming point looks a little too straight for me. I would think you want to be more center point. Oh, you got a great hit. Oh, look at that. Wow.
Well, that just make him come up big.
Yeah, that could be the difference in the game here, because that really just shifted everything in Mike's favor. And he was looking pretty bleak there, but that right there is pretty fortunate.
Eddie just needs to cut this 5 into this bottom right hand corner, super thin, come off and clip the 7 out of there. Yep. Except for I wouldn't hit the 8 ball.
Yeah, minus the 8 ball hit, but you're thinking to come off that way. It's there, but is that the shot you go for, Josh?
Me?
Yeah.
Probably not. I probably maybe shit. I don't know. I might.
I think I would go just a follow safety, take the cue ball.
That's what I was gonna say. I think I'd probably
because
play
as deep as that 8 ball is, kicking it, hitting it full, there is a potential to follow it in.
Well, he tried that shot we were just talking about, but he hit the 5 feet fat.
Yeah, and he followed my original line. That hit the 8.
Yeah.
But I can't say that was the wrong choice.
No.
he saw the potential there to get out, and he went for it. So
And
realistically,
he barely clipped that 8, and he hit the 5
yeah,
flat. So if he had hit the 5, and cut it in, then he probably would have been pretty good. It's a close match. Mike's break. He's only down by 1.
so I see some people in the chat there. Majority seems to be rooting Eddie on. But I kind of thought from the get-go that this was going to be a kind of a coin toss. Their Fargos are really close. Mike is a 516, Eddie's a 518, and so essentially they're the same player. So it's just going to be about execution, and if Mike can slow himself down and eliminate some of them simple mistakes, then this could be a potentially a hill match, and it still just might be. You never know. But I knew it was going to be pretty good. I didn't think it'd be a blowout in any way. Mike and I played Wednesday night. Came in here and played a little bit. Didn't televise that one.
Well, looks like he's in the good spirits. That's good.
Oh yeah. It's always a good time. Hey, Bet, I see you in the chat there. Hope you're feeling better. You've been sick the last couple of days, so hope you're on the mend, on the better end of that now. So Eddie's back now. He just come back from the restroom, toweling off, and Mike's getting ready to break.
Toweling off? What did he do in the restroom?
I don't know, Josh. I didn't live stream that.
Weird. Thought you were into live streaming and everything. So Mike makes the ball on the break here. Looks like he's set up a little shooting drill with stripes by that top left corner pocket. Other than that, I think solids are the best suit of balls here. You just got to find one to make.
Yeah, the 10 ball right here is definitely the decider for me to what suit to take.
Yeah.
Because realistically, there's not a really great solid to start with, so you could play the 10-2 in the side, and but that helps Eddie with the 10 ball.
I'd play the 5-2 in the side.
Yeah.
Because then if you're getting your suit of balls, you're still leaving that 10 where it is, and I think the 5-2 angle is better to make the 2 than the 10-2 angle, anyways.
True, because then you're cutting it into the 2 versus cutting outward to the 2.
That's what I was going to say. You got to watch out for the scratch.
Yeah, you gotta be aware of your tangent lines. Those are important to look at, especially when the angle is kind of suggesting towards the pocket. You definitely want to take a closer look at that.
Well, the problem that he's gonna have here is with ball in hand and opening that up. Starting with this 7 and then 3 is gonna give Eddie a pretty good opportunity to get out here. You got to play pretty specific shape for this to be able to not only make the 7 but make the 3 and try to get that 4 ball too if you can.
Well, I was gonna say that 3 might be a little tough to deal with.
Well, I think he's going to address it right now, and even if the cue ball gets stuck in there, he'll have the 4 in the side. Well, that actually works too.
Yeah, works out.
He's got a shot on the 5 to the corner, the 4 to the corner, and he can work off either one of those. So I think I would start with the 4 here just because I want to take care of this. And he's already on the correct side of the 4 to get shaped to the 3 pretty easily. Just needs to, just draw back to the rail like this. Nothing powerful, just a simple stun draw to get it right over there. Or you could follow. The preference thing, I guess. So yeah, Eddie's in great shape to take this game.
Boop. He booped it. Just booped it a little bit.
Well, I don't know if Eddie has any tattoos or not, but that would explain the boop, because that's how guys with no tattoos close the refrigerator door. Ain't that right, Josh?
Yeah, just throw a little hip into it. Boop. Yeah, see, he didn't take much time to make sure he looked at his line for the 1. I mean, he should be okay, but it's like, man, he could have played this a little bit different and make sure and left himself a good little angle.
Yeah.
Nice, easy stroke, not having to do much with it, to get shaped.
Yeah, so he's looking to power draw it back to maybe closer to his pinky right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. If he'd gave himself a better line on this 1, he could have used some sort of natural angle to maneuver the cue ball easily into a nice position for the 8 instead of having to work as hard as it's going to work now. And the 8 ball probably, if he gets a real good draw stroke, he could pull back and come out like this. But I think he'd be okay with just sitting right here too. See, that's why you want to always be a ball or 2 ahead of where you actually are, so that you know where to play your shape to get on the correct side of the ball, look at your line. Wow, he hit that really well.
Yeah, and here's the thing. If he had not left himself that straight on the 1, he couldn't have pulled off some really cool shot for us to watch too. So.
True, and the cloth being a little slidey, that allowed that cue ball to go long and get between the rail and the 8 and get to where it is now, because I think this cloth was broke in a little more, he'd ended up more over here. Either way, good.
Do we put Eddie up 5.5 to 3 for the cool factor? Oh, nope,
no,
not after that.
Yeah. I was going to say, Scott, nope. No cool points for that one. Got to give him props, though. He made a really nice stroke shot to get a shot at that 8.
That was definitely a great shot. I thought with that look at it, he was still might have just putted in the side pocket.
Yeah, I think I was thinking the same. Just play to the side. But so this is a game Mike needs. He needs to get out here, not only to just tie the matchup, but for his own confidence. So he's got a natural shape off this 13 to come up, somewhere in the center. Then he'd have an option on all 3 at that point.
Nope. Now he's got to play 2 rails like this, and then he's got to play this ball and then this ball, which is plenty fine. He just got to take his time and make sure he executes,
Well, he hit that one really well.
Really good shot at it right there.
So now it's just a roll forward and play the 10 in the side. But you notice he didn't go look to where he needs to be, because you don't want to be cutting this 10 in the side. Oh, he hit that really well.
Yep, hit it perfect.
Yep. So I fully expect him to get out now and tie this match up at 4.
All right, so when Eddie Dunaway goes back and watches this, something I got to say, Eddie, and that is shoot the 8 into the side. The side pocket's pretty big, especially from that angle. You don't have to do anything with the cue ball. It's just natural to go down the center of the table. When you cut it into the corner, you're having to hit it harder, and you're playing into a lot smaller of a pocket. Now, what I can tell you is that's the old way of doing things on the valley tables. Because on a valley table, that's the preferred shot would be to play it to the corner because the corners are bigger and more accepting, and the side pockets are small. But it's kind of opposite on these diamonds, so he's got to take that into account sometimes, and got to break out of that old mold, of playing to those corner pockets like the valleys did, and take that side pocket shot.
Yeah, what you said is 100% accurate. But, I can't fault him for firing at the corner because he wanted to stroke it versus roll it. So I can't fault him for that. But the side definitely would have been the better option just because, like you said, it is a bigger pocket. And I would have gave him a much higher percentage of making it there.
Yeah, I think the angle that he had for the side pocket wasn't going to be such a, delicate shot, and he could have just hit a straightforward shot in the side, made it a lot easier, I think.
Yep, agreed.
Well, we're at 4-4, so it's a whole new ball game. Race to 3 now.
Yeah, I see Mr. Dunaway in the chat agrees. I think Eddie, when he watches it back, he'll probably think the same thing. You're right.
You see, obviously, Yvette agrees with us, right? He had a shot on the side shot at the 8.
Yep.
True. Marty Moore in the chat room. What? I thought you'd still be here, Marty. Yeah, and by here I mean the Dutch.
I'm just proud he knows how to work the chat.
Well, I guess we'll soon discover if that's a good thing or a bad thing. And don't forget, Marty, I like Reese's peanut butter cups, so buy a box and put them at the Dutch for me.
I'll tell you what's funny is when you talk to Marty in person, and he always has that right on, man, right on. I didn't realize he types that way too. It's almost like how Willy Wong types with a Chinese accent. Just because you have an accent, Willie, doesn't mean you have to text in an accent, bro.
Right. You can hear it, can't you, when you read the text?
Oddly enough, that's true. You read his text the way he speaks.
Yeah.
And you're right. You can hear it in your head, and it's funny.
All right.
Oh.
I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna call it out. There's a bunch of people in the watching the stream now. So if you're out there and you haven't said anything yet, let us know who you're watching, where you're watching from. Streaming from the Dutch on EvoSports. Pretty awesome streaming service they got. They're going to be in Lincoln City again. So there'll be a bunch of streaming matches in Lincoln City.
Yeah, they're going to have 6 stream tables going. And then all the guest commentary for all those, for the most part, including Josh and I. We will be, I'm sure they'll have a booth there. So you'll hear us on some matches up there as well. But yeah, this, I'm sure everybody knows, this streaming, I love it. I absolutely love it. And I love the commentary side of it. The telestrator, where we get to draw lines and whatnot. And you may have seen me earlier bring the cue ball out. I was showing Scott Dunaway, who's sitting next to me here, that, some functions we have to play with. So overall, it's pretty cool to involve, the average Joe, the pool players, into the commentary side of things.
Like this right here, where you can Play that cue ball. Oh, he decided to go out there. He's going to leave that 7 ball.
This is definitely getting difficult to watch the rest of this match. Oh man, I was drying out some peppers. Some
I was
really
going to say, are you
hot
are you eating
peppers.
hot peppers? I could hear it in your voice.
Oh my gosh, no, it's not. Listen, I tasted all of them, and I've got some really hot peppers, but I've washed my hands. I'm gonna tell you, but apparently I've rubbed my eye and somehow still got this stuff. It's burning my eyelid.
Yeah.
And I think it's getting into my eye. Oh, for crying out loud.
Go rinse it out. So Eddie shot that 6 trying to break the 3 out, but he really needed to kind of, from the angle he had, I think he needed to elevate his cue a little bit in the back and play that with like a low right and not hammer it. I mean, he had to hit it with speed, but he really needed that English to grip and bring it back at the correct angle. So,
Yeah, and Mike has a very big opportunity right now to take the lead. Eddie, because he was so straight and on the wrong side of the ball there, he tried to cheat it and force an angle into the 3. Well, it missed the shot, but he got the breakout and opened up all the stripes as well. So Mike just needs to take his time here and just pick them off one by one and get it done.
Yvette's going to be a cheerleader for us. That'll work. Yeah, Mike's got a good chance here. Eddie was leading in this match 3-1. And then he was leading 4-2. And now, after a couple games with just, little mistakes here and there, Mike has a chance to claw his way into his first lead since the first game. Let's see if he can get out here. He's playing this combo, but I would not be against him playing the 10 ball right here. Or the 14, I guess I should say. So I didn't like the combo because of where that 10 was going to be going, but he got pretty fortunate because this 14 ball can.
Yeah, he should probably shoot it now and just go forward a little bit because it's going to bump the 10 a little. And then as long as he doesn't power this, he should end up with a shot on this 10. A pretty nice one, too.
Well, Marty, I know you can hear us, but you're really delayed in your response to us. So we've already moved on. And now we've moved on to Scott Zurich, one of the commentators in here. He, as of late, he's been showing us some of the new hot sauces, salsas. He's been trying out. He's on a spice kick. Some peppers. It sounds like he may have overdid it a little bit on the peppers tonight and trying to make himself blind.
Well, he needs to get back on the macaroons kick and start bringing those in.
Right.
I don't care about the pepper.
Or the pineapple upside down muffin top or something he was telling me about. So I see why Mike played that, but I would have liked to have him play this 12 into the corner with just like some stun draw to draw down over here, or even draw to like right here at the cue ball. Instead of playing that cut he just played. That cut he played wasn't easy.
It wasn't, and I think I would have played more of a safety on that ball. Just bump it to the rail and hide there, because this 12 ball right here, I would kind of want to leave for my last ball. Shoot that into the corner and then play the 8 on the side.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's like I've said on this stream before, I'm very aggressive, so I would have probably forced it out, but and Mike got perfect on this 12 for the 12, 10, 8, but that's not where his cue ball would have been had he cut that ball into the corner properly. So.
Right. Okay, so Eddie's got good action to get out on this table here. Looks like there's a little bit of an angle to be able to just come either that way or come back this way. It's all preference. So a little bit more English would have put him above this perfectly, but still workable. And yes, that three-reeler is right there, and it'll come into the line of the shot on the 8 in the corner. So all he really has to do is make sure he pockets the 3, and the cue ball will do its thing.
Yeah, I would think from this angle with how thin he's cutting it, he's probably going to need to maybe even play that with a little bit of low or maybe a little bit of low right, just to try to make sure he draws past clipping this stripe, because he's going to cut the 3 pretty thin.
Looks like he's playing the bank.
Which can work too.
True, true, true.
He's putting a lot of outside English on it. Oh, I thought he drilled it.
Yeah, and he got perfect shape on the 8 too.
You know, a little softer of a stroke, he probably would have made it.
Yeah, would have given it the English a chance to widen out.
Yep.
So Mike needs to start with the 10. Yep, and just exactly. Yep. But it looks like he's looking eyeballing the 15 ball instead, which is still doable from there, but it's going to make it a lot tougher for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, going the other way was more natural with everything. Just keep it natural. Let the take what the table gives you and just let the cue ball go the direction it wants to go. You know, it's funny when we say things like that, because a lot of people that watch us play, they see us play with a lot of English. We do a lot of stuff, but not always. It just seems like that because we will do it when we need to. But you can keep it as natural and easy as possible. Just do that,
Yeah, you always want to work natural angles. Let the cue ball, it's already going to head that way, so just do what you need to from there to help it along. And typically it will simplify. And so had he made that, he'd have been kicking.
I was gonna say that I think I would have tried to look to get safe on that shot instead of trying to make it.
So he's going to have. This isn't the easiest of shots here to make that and not run into this stripe that's over by the side rail.
Yeah,
and then if you use English, it's easy to overrun it,
And just like that, you use it to hold.
Yeah.
So
You can see the 8.
Chat delay.
Can he cut the 8 in?
Chat
to the
delay.
side? Can he cut the 8 into the side, or does he have to bank that 8? Yeah, he's going to bank it. That was the problem with running into that ball, is not getting a good clean look. But this is a fairly straightforward bank.
yeah,
It's,
but I
it's
think
easy to hit too hard and shorten it, and miss it to the short side. But
yeah, I would just English throw that into the side on the cut. But like I said, it's pretty basic bank, and he drills it center pocket. Take the lead, 5-4.
yeah,
So,
stop the bleeding a little bit.
yeah, and Mike had a big opportunity there, but it started with the wrong ball, and that cost him.
Yep, in 8-ball pool, pattern play is king. Playing the right patterns, making it easier, increases your percentage of getting out tenfold.
Yeah, because I'm willing to bet, had he started with that 10 ball on the side and followed that pattern you drew out, playing that natural angle to the 12 on the side and then do the 15-8, if he'd have went that route, I'm pretty certain he'd have got out. But because he did it and didn't get good shape on his first shot, he just basically painted himself into a tough corner, and then it cost him.
Yep. All right, now the age-old question, Rich,
What?
Scott, how do you pronounce his last name?
Who? Mike?
Yeah.
Koch.
Nope. Wrong.
It's Coke.
Nope. Wrong. You guys want to try again? And I can tell you,
that's
I
your
had this
take on it.
I had this long conversation with him and Janice and all of them. No more guesses.
Well, we all know it's not cock, even though it is spelled that way, but it's not that.
Well, what's funny is I know how to pronounce his last name, but the last time he was on one of the streams, I kept referring to him as Mike Koch, and that was more just me, being me, just messing around so that I can mess with Mike's name. Yeah, just I like to say it, whatever. But
I was gonna say,
just know what you're thinking about.
I had multiple people coming up to me after that stream for like a week or two, trying to tell me, "Hey, Josh, you know how you pronounce his name?" And they're all trying to tell me how to pronounce it. And everybody that was trying to tell me was telling me wrong. And I was like, "That's not how you pronounce it. I know how to pronounce it." But,
well, Michelle Mee's in the chat with her hand up. I know, she said.
All right, Michelle.
Tell us, Michelle.
Tell us. Let's see if you know.
Spell it how you would pronounce it. And I see Danny Barros in the chat. Hi, Dan.
Oh, is that Jose? That's Dan?
Yeah. Further up where it
Nice.
debuts, he puts his name.
Yeah. Hey, Dan. How's it going? I seen Jose in there. I didn't know if it was you or not. That is correct, Michelle.
Cook.
It's pronounced Cook.
Hey, how you spell it?
All right.
Yeah. Somebody was drunk. Yeah. Mike Cook. So there. Now you know. I heard Rich. I heard you announcing it earlier, and it was wrong, but you were on a roll, and I didn't want to correct you at the time, so I wanted to wait until there's as many people in this chat as possible to be correcting people.
Well, I can tell you that he's never corrected me. So.
Well, growing up, I bet they've had it mispronounced so often that they don't even try to correct people anymore.
Oh, I can totally relate. I have the same kind of last name.
Listen, I can relate.
Hey,
Let's got Zoink.
well,
that one was I don't even know how he came up with that one.
Right?
do you remember where we came up with that?
Yeah, that was what was his name? Marty,
Idaho,
or whatever,
Marty,
over in Idaho, and
Orofino, yeah.
Orofino.
Yes.
Rich, you're the one that came up with that, the Zoink, and you had me go tell Marty before the Calcutta. So he was announcing it in the Calcutta.
No, he didn't say zoink. He said zunk.
Zunk, yeah, whatever. Same thing.
difference.
Yeah, Rich Fair. Everybody gets it wrong.
Yeah, and there was even a couple years ago, is it now, when we had the Platinum Teams final, when it was us against Lonnie's team, and Scott was on Lonnie's team, and there was a big discussion over how to
who
pronounce
won?
my last name.
What happened?
We split the money.
Was I
Got
there?
paid the same.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. We did win.
Yeah, remember after the first set we played and we beat you guys like 11-3, and then we chopped it up and then you guys won.
Don't you remember I told you we wanted to give you a little glimmer of hope?
Either way, it was really awesome that we're in Lincoln City playing
It was.
Platinum Teams, and the two Dutch teams from Yakima that were there made it to the hot seat match and the finals against each other.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And we had Kelly Smith, the Super 400, on our team.
Yep. We even had somebody.
Hey, Kelly played amazing in that tournament. He played great.
He did.
Hey, we were there with him through every match, and you're right. He played really strong. And we even had a really strong player here in the Northwest, Steve Kofer. made a comment to Kelly after our match, before the hot seat match, and told Kelly that he's the best 400 in the country. That's how strong he was playing. It was pretty cool to
Yeah,
see.
he did. He did play well, and it was pretty cool to see him do that. You know, because he stepped up big to play with us in platinum at a 400 Fargo. You know, so and it was funny. A lot of people probably don't know, but he was nervous and sickly and had to run off and puke a couple of times.
It was awesome. I love seeing the emotions that people go through when they're first in those kind of spots. You know, just the nerves and just everything about it's fun to watch.
It is just to see how they, the stress and pressure of everything that they're dealing with. Pretty cool. You know, we've all been there at one time or another, and that's kind of the beauty of these BFS matches. You know, it puts two players that aren't normally the center of attention and makes them the center of attention, and we live stream it. So, you know, they get to experience that and figure out a way to play under those pressures. And then when they go to Lincoln City or somewhere and end up on a live stream table, it's not their first time.
Yeah.
So, you know, they have some sort of experience to fall back on.
It's going for the crossbank here. It's there, and it gives them an opportunity to get that 2 into a better, a more favorable spot. And he's leaving that 5 there because it's a blocker ball for two of Eddie's balls.
Oh, he underhit that, but it's on
Oh,
line.
that was a beautiful line. Yeah.
Yeah. This is a big game because, race to 7, Eddie's fighting to get to the hill first, and obviously Mike doesn't want him on the hill first. So,
Yeah, that's a
huge game.
That's another form of pressure there when your opponent gets to the hill, because then you don't have your one game to give anymore.
Yep. Do you play a safety here?
Not yet. I wouldn't.
I mean,
I would pocket this ball right here, get it out of the way, and maybe get an angle to be able to play this like that.
Yep.
I take a shot at it anyway, just to see if I can get it broke out, opened up.
See, he might be going for that right now, and it's always good to try to take care of your problem balls as early as possible, but sometimes you got to shoot an easier shot to give you a better breakout shot, And you're right, playing that 15, he could have played to an angle that gave him an easier opportunity to be able to play down into this 14. And the 11 goes by to the corner, and it comes off the 7 into the side. So
he didn't leave Mike an easy shot. He can't see the 7 ball, and the 2-7 combo is not going to be easy. It's a double back cuts. The 5 ball is a super thin cut, which he doesn't want to make that 5 right now because, like I said earlier, it's a blocker. So it's kind of something that he's thinking he needs to hang on to for a little while. But I don't know.
I don't know if that goes or not. Like, I don't think he can make the 7, can he?
Yeah, I don't think he can. I think what little bit of it he can see would make it hit the point.
Yeah.
So the only other thing he could do there is potentially crossbank the 2, but yet another tough shot. So
yeah, and I don't know from this angle. I'm not sure if that 2 can crossbank and miss the 8. Can it?
It can.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it's going to come in straight. Sorry, right. Weird line, come in straight. And then it's got a whole window here. But
yeah, but he's coming across it, so it's going to come this way.
He's playing safe, I think. Just bumping that. See, now where I would have done it differently, I would have come underneath this way and just give it a little tap. That way it still stays there, and it doesn't leave Eddie a shot. Whereas now Eddie has the 11 to work with, and if he pockets that ball, he should get out.
Yep. Agreed.
See, if he'd have went underneath it like I was drawing, even this 13 at best would have been a bank shot.
Yeah.
So Eddie's in good shape to get to the hill now. And I think, he doesn't want to bridge over the 2 ball, so maybe do this one first and come off. Looks like he's thinking the same.
I was going to say, you don't have to do much with that.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, because if he would have just left himself an angle, it would have been natural just to cut the 14 in and have the cue ball come like this. But he should still be fine.
He's gonna draw this and try to come back through the line he's going in on.
And if he does, he'd be better off to try to power draw down to the 15. Because if he comes up short, he's got shots on the 10. If he comes up long, he hit that at an angle.
Oh,
Scratch.
the one thing he did not want. But there it is.
Yeah. That's not good.
See, now this is where we differ. So he's going to shoot the 2 and draw back a little bit for the 7. Me, on the other hand, I would start on this side, play the 2 in the side pocket, just roll forward a little. And the reason being is rolling forward with top English is easier to control than draw.
Yep. Especially on a new table with this kind of cloth, too.
Yeah, because it's easily, you could easily get right here and then, or, kind of where he is now, or maybe a little bit lower and be forced into shooting the 5 next. It's not a terrible thing, but, you want to, when you have a game plan in your head, you want to kind of try to execute that game plan. So he actually hit that pretty good.
Yep.
So what do you do, Josh? Do you go to the rail and out, or do you draw to the bottom rail and out?
I mean, it depends on the angle, but it looks like it'd be easy enough to come around it this way without having to play the draw.
Ooh.
I was going to say I would probably opt for the draw.
Well, the only reason I don't like the draw is this table's super grabby. So, I mean, depending, and also the way that the cloth slides before it grabs sometimes, you could easily draw down into the 5. You could overdraw, come off kind of funny. Or just rolling forward off the rail this way, because you're coming this direction. It's kind of natural to come around. That's why I was thinking that way.
But that new cloth, the way it slides, can easily come down and slide off long too. And so Mike ended up in the pocket, forcing himself into a tough shot on the 5.
Honestly, I thought he was gonna maybe hit a stop shot there and park it behind the 8, lining up all those, the stripes behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, but they haven't been playing a whole lot of safety, Scott, unless it was absolutely their last option.
Yeah, that safety wouldn't have been a bad play. But if Eddie gets kicking and were to get a hit, then he leaves Mike Tough on the 5 also. But,
I think I'd still like to take my chances with that.
Yeah, considering where he was and what he had to do with it, he was looking at something tough no matter what. And so now Eddie has this 8 ball to get on the hill.
Nice
and
out
there it is. And I think he has the break as well, does he not?
He does. So he's on the hill with the break. But, this isn't the first time Mike's been down by 2 games. So
Rich, I think we had a conversation about this the other day. We were talking after you had played with Mike, and you had brought that up, that you'd kind of mentioned that to him. Not always trying to be aggressive and looking for a defense to make sure you have the right time to go for that out, and just making the smarter choices.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to, smarter choice, whether it's offensive or defensive. You want to keep the odds in your favor. And what he was doing, trying to bank into a tight pocket, with that 8 being kind of in the path too, he makes it. He still would have had a tough shot on the 8. So yeah, safety would have been, it would have put the percentages in his favor because, Eddie kicking and pocketing a ball would have been low. Getting a hit might have been pretty decent numbers, but with just a hit, that still brings you back to the table with a chance.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. I think his odds were a lot better, playing the smarter shot and just making it tough on Eddie.
You hear that, Josh? There's a new Scott. New Scott.
I like this. I like this new Scott. This is Scott Zurich, right? Not Scott Zunk.
New old Scott, because Scott played like that before, and then just kind of went on a hiatus and don't know what happened, but seems to be back now. That money match we played against those out-of-towner guys really woke Scott up. He was the difference in that match. He's why we made money.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I just wish we could have made a little bit more.
Well, you couldn't shoot every shot.
That was my fault. That's true. And there was no coaching, so you couldn't tell me what to do. But yeah, that was a fun match. I enjoyed it.
It was.
It was pretty good. Couple of nice guys too. Both guys are really nice.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Were they done in town here?
Yeah, they're back on the west side. So Dan, any interest in doing one of these matches? I'm always looking for new players, new faces.
Does Dan have a Fargo? And if not, I was gonna say if
I believe he does. Yeah, I believe he plays BCA.
Okay.
And even if he doesn't, I can assign him one.
No, I know. That's what I was gonna say. Even if not, just so he knows that.
Yeah.
You don't have to have one. I wouldn't mind seeing Dan play one. He plays good.
So for people who just watch that shot, Mike slow rolled the 2 to the side, and as you can see, it's hanging there, but nothing touched the rail, and that's why Eddie got ball in hand.
And Eddie's gonna start with a 5 ball.
Well, solids are definitely the better choice, and I only say that because the 2 balls tied to the 8 right there. The solids have issues too. That 3 ball. He's resolving one issue right now, shooting the 5.
Yeah, I think the 3 goes in the side once the 6 is gone, or you can play the combo.
Oh,
where's Dan from?
Where do you live, Dan? Is it Quincy, Ephrata?
I see Dan Ibarra from Ephrata.
Yeah. That's him.
Yeah.
449.
449.
He's got a robustness of 301, looks like.
Oh, Eddie.
He's established.
Yeah.
So that makes it easy then.
Eddie's.
What'd you say his Fargo was?
449.
449. I
Eddie
got a few guys right in that range. That'd be perfect.
Watching here, looks like Eddie might have miscued there or something.
So I see the 5 went down, but that was just a slop shot, so the table's still open?
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah, he miscued, and instead of shooting the 5 into the bottom right corner, it banked across and went into the other corner.
Oh my goodness. Unbelievable right there. That's big.
For sure.
Now Eddie can take ball in hand and do that 3-6 combo and get that fixed.
Yep.
And I do believe, I don't know without going up to the table and looking, but it looks like this way.
It's really tough to tell from here if that goes by.
Yeah, and I'm not in the best position to see that.
Draw your telestrator lines. See what it looks like from the edge of the ball, maybe.
I don't think it goes.
I would think you'd have to
Yeah,
go kind of edge to edge of pocket, or
yeah. I definitely think. Well, you got a breakout ball right here, so you just need to give that broke out early. You know, see like ball in hand on the one being out in the open. I don't particularly agree with that. I know he was trying to just draw down into 3, but like Josh mentioned earlier, doing ball in hand, you do the 3-6 combo. And it's still an open table, so even if you clip the 11 first a little bit, it'd still be good.
Yeah, and normally you don't want to do combos with ball in hand, but if it's necessary, boy, he put himself in a bad
that's
spot
a tough
there.
spot there.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke. Well, what he should do is he should play a safety. Does this cue ball?
Well, I think he can
Does
kick
cue ball
through
kick
here.
off the fin?
Yeah, I think it kicks off this way.
We're both trying to draw the same angle here. Yeah.
Last year, Fargo, Dan, does that mean you should be a little better?
Yeah, I think Dan shoots better than a 449.
Who's that? Is that Scott?
That's Scott Dunaway.
Yeah, that's a friend saying that. But when I look for opponents and set up matches, I kind of have to go off of, if they have Fargos, then I kind of use those as the baseline. Now, if you didn't have one, Scott's comment there would be something I'd have to look at, and find maybe an opponent that's in that 500 range. But because he has a Fargo, I sort of have to, because everybody looks at those, you know what I mean? So I don't want to put a 440 player against a 500, and have 50 points apart. That doesn't look fair on paper, even if they play similar speed.
Mm.
Oh.
So I'll be honest with you. You know what my thought process was there with him kicking at that 2? Was there's nothing wrong with him because he was so close to the 6.
Yeah.
If he just plays off the edge of the 6 and kicks that same angle with a little bit of English, like a little bit of left-hand English.
Yeah.
Are you
Because
talking about splitting the 3 and the 11?
No. I'm talking right there. He had the cue ball right here.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Playing off the 6 because he was right next to the 6. He could have just thinned the 6 with left-hand English and played off at that cue ball. Because then no matter what,
in either case you get a good hit.
You get a good hit, yeah. Because playing at the 2 ball,
I see what you're saying now.
It's a hero or zero shot. You either make the 2 or you give him ball in hand.
Yeah,
but if you thin the edge of the
guarantees your hit.
Yeah, and then you're going for the 2. And if you don't hit the 2, you're leaving him a tough shot. You leave them. I mean, think about it. That cue ball over there, you're leaving him tough.
Right, and I do not agree with what Mike's looking at right here. He definitely needs to. Yes, he needs to get down there and play safe and just open that up right now.
He needs to put the cue ball right here, do a stop shot, leave the cue ball behind the 10, and bank this into that.
Yes, that would be the perfect setup right there.
He looks like he's going to play that.
Looks like he's trying to make it.
Yeah, see, this is where keeping odds in your favor really need to come into the thought process here.
Now Eddie has the 2 ball and then can play the 3-6 combo, and then can, depending on what the 6 does.
Yeah, you definitely want to get your cue ball up by this diamond so that you can play that combo and hit it square enough that the 3 stays in front of the pocket.
Yeah.
And
I see you in the chat, Scott Dunaway, saying you like the hero or zero shots, but the problem is when you don't need to do anything like that, and you can play a shot like what I was saying, to where you're increasing your chances of winning the game by quite a bit. However, he did give Mike an opportunity to make a mistake like that, and he did with ball in
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah. Putting the cue ball in here, or even here, and hitting that 13 into this, opening it up, and get the cue ball right in here was the play, the proper play.
Yeah.
And not doing so just put himself in a really bad position here, giving Eddie a chance to get to the table and work this out.
We'll see. And one of the reasons I like having the cue ball on this side and banking it into it versus over here, because over here you shoot the 13 into that, you have to hit it with speed, because you need something to hit a rail afterwards, and then hitting with speed, you're going to have to do some kind of stun or stop shot to be behind the 10, where if you go the first route and come this way at it and bank it off, you can just do a stop shot. You don't have to get fancy with the cue ball. You're getting a rail no matter what. And then when these hit, you don't have to hammer it, because these can just separate a little bit. You don't need to move everything around,
Yeah, but if you don't have to hit that into those with all that power, if you just hit it like to the edge of the 3, and it still opens that up, and then that ball's still going to travel to a rail. But I'd be looking at where to leave the cue ball, because I don't want to leave an easy kick to that 2 ball that was sitting in the side either.
Yeah.
I'd want them to have to work for that. But, Eddie missed the combo, and so now all the stripes go. So realistically, the only so-called trouble ball would be the 10 right here, because it doesn't have a pocket that without playing shape to it somewhere. But he's got plenty of balls to work with there. The thing is he should do it now. Start with this and maybe come up like that and give himself an option on the 10 or the 9 or something like that. Because he's looking to break this 12 out with the 8 like that. And this is what I don't like right here.
Yeah, now he's in trouble.
He's in big trouble now. And he got terrible shape. Because now the 10 doesn't go anywhere. But see, if he'd have started here and brought the cube off this way, he could give himself options and work himself around. That ball
He just
went.
play a stop on the cue ball right there.
Wow. That was pretty ballsy, and he made it.
Wow.
So. But yeah,
But
that
still,
would
like
have been
getting to that 14 is going to be tough. I mean, let's see, maybe if he shoots the 9 and pulls back, leaves himself an angle to maybe play it in this situation a 2-way, bank the 14 and play a stop there.
You don't have to bank it. You can just bring it into here and play this like that, and that angle will come this way. There's that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you had a right call too. Just playing a stop shot and leave the cue there, and not leave Eddie anything easy. Because firing at that 10 ball up in that corner was, had a little pocket with that 9 ball sitting there. But, he hit it really well. So, give him props for that. But yeah, but that ball he broke out from the 8 ball, it went. It already went, so it didn't need to be broke out. So, the rule of thumb is to not move balls around if you don't need to be moving balls around.
I say right here, I say you play the defense or just get that 14 out of the way and leave yourself behind that 10 and the 9 there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he could literally, bank this out and take the cue ball down here. And as long as he doesn't leave it here for the 6 on the side, if he gets to the bottom of the table, then he leaves the Eddie tough.
I would think even easier. I mean, you could have just hit the 14 and let your cue ball come off the rail and still be behind the 10-9, and he wouldn't have a shot at anything. Very controlled shot.
Yeah, but then you're
well, you at least get some space on the 14 and get it down.
Yeah, you want to hit the 14 with enough speed that it gets away from the 8. You don't want to leave it there. But see, right now where he left his cue ball, You know, all Eddie's got to do is put a little top spin, get past that point, and this match will be over.
Just like that.
And just like that. So now he's got a slight angle. So now he just needs to draw it and get a look at the 8. 8 beat in the pocket. I mean, really, you can kick at it, jump it. You got all kinds of options. And that's the match winner.
There you go.
All right, I'll let you guys close out. I'm going to go step away.
All right. Eddie played a pretty good little match there, you know, but he allowed Mike to stay in it. There was lots of mistakes there, and Mike just didn't capitalize on some of those mistakes that Eddie made, and that was the difference in the match.
I think a good thing about this also, you know, doing these matches is maybe a chance to also, you know, for Mike to look back on the match, take a look at some of the things and listen to some of the things that we were talking about, and maybe learning to take a second look at maybe playing some defenses and
Yeah.
learning from his mistakes that way, you know.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, that's one of the nice things about these streams is people can go back, watch them, and kind of see some different outlooks, you know, because they have one train of thought, but they get to hear what our thought process is on these too, you know.
Right. I mean, just hearing a different perspective, you know, I mean, it just can make a lot more difference in the way you look at things, and
Yeah.
in the future, we know when those same shots come up to be able to make a different decision.
Yep, for sure. All right, man, I'm gonna log out. Appreciate you jumping on and helping with the chat and everything, and commentating.
Yeah, not as good as you guys, you know, and I had some issues with some pepper burns, man.
Well, I mean, Scott,
Tough going.
honestly, it's an uphill chore for you to try to commentate as good as me, but you try.
Right.
That's the first step.
I'll work on that articulation, see what I can do.
All right, man. I'll see you Monday, probably.
Yes, sir. All right, you guys have a good night.
You too, buddy. Bye. Yep. And real quick, just before I forget, so everybody knows, Eddie wins 7-4 over Mike Cook. This is their first time playing each other. They've done some other stuff before. Eddie's done some BFS stuff before, so I'm sure we'll see both of them again. So anyways, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for listening, and see you guys next time.